fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
R&B singer R.Kelly was just sentenced to 30 years in prison.
R.Kelly has just been sentenced to 30 years in prison for his role in a decades-long underage sex trafficking ring.
He was the king of R&B and a respected music producer, but he was also a predator, an abuser, and a sex trafficker. He targeted girls, boys, and young women and even used them for his own satisfaction.
I was a little girl in like a bad man's world. I never really recovered from it.
And for decades, his victims have been asking for justice.
That claims of abuse by brown and black women often go unheard.
Now, finally, their abuser is answering for his crimes.
You need to see how you have ruined lives.
But do victims find his sentence fair and justified? This is a story of how R.Kelly turned from being celebrated as an R&B sensation into being convicted as a serial predator and trafficker.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man.
In the 1900s and early 2000s, R.Kelly was one of the most popular musicians.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
He produced and released various hits, becoming a big name in the music industry. But with his fame and success also comes disturbing behaviors. For over 3 decades, multiple disgusting rumors have been surrounding his career. Allegations include pedophilia, predatory behavior, and sexual abuse towards women and children. But how were his unlawful actions exposed, and how did he get arrested? R.Kelly is no stranger to allegations and being criminally charged over the years, but he's always avoided conviction for his crimes.
As a music superstar, he was somehow immune from having to behave lawfully.
But in 2019, the documentary series Surviving R.Kelly revealed how he mentally, physically, and sexually abused his victims.
And people have no idea that this man just beat me on the bus. People have no idea of the bruises I'm hiding.
But he strongly denied all allegations against him.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
But a video of him having with a 14-year-old was also discovered, and he was then charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. An additional 11 charges of sexual assault were filed against him, and his charges were described as being with a minor by the use of force or threat of force. In the same year, he was charged with trafficking and transporting underage girls for purposes. This charge includes child pornography, obstruction of justice, and threatening witnesses.
R.Kelly was charged today with 21 counts of child pornography.
In September 2021, he was found guilty for trafficking and racketeering. And although his sentencing was delayed for months, finally yesterday he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. In R. Kelly's defense, his lawyer told the court that he should be given some consideration because as a child he was also a victim of sexual abuse. But this backfired on him when one of the victim's fathers released this statement.
You make a statement to the judge, look, I was assaulted when I was a child, and I did not turn out like you.
And the judge said, it may explain, at least in part, what led to your behavior. It most surely is not an excuse. And when the victims were asked about the outcome, they said,
I stand here very proud of my judicial system, very proud of my fellow survivors, and very pleased with the outcome. 30 years did he do this, and 30 years is what he got.
R. Kelly thought that with his power and influence that he could get away with his crimes. But as they always say, the truth will prevail and justice will be served.